I've always been fascinated by the darker side of mythology, and today we're diving into some truly horrific Egyptian myths. When you think of ancient Egypt, you probably picture grand pyramids, powerful pharaohs, and a pantheon of gods with animal heads. But there's a whole other side to Egyptian mythology that's rarely talked about. It's a world filled with cannibalism, bloodthirsty deities, and eternal torment. These aren't just stories. They're windows into the fears, beliefs, and societal norms of the ancient Egyptians. They show us how this incredible civilization grappled with concepts of life, death, and the chaotic nature of existence. So buckle up, because we're about to explore terrifying myths that you definitely didn't learn about in school. Let's kick things off with a myth that's sure to make your skin crawl: the Cannibal Hymn. This isn't some obscure text. It's actually part of the pyramid texts, some of the oldest known religious writings in the world. The hymn describes a pharaoh eating the gods. Moving on to Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of war. In one myth, the sun god Ra sends her to punish humanity for disobeying him. But Sekhmet gets a little carried away. She becomes so bloodthirsty that she starts slaughtering people indiscriminately. Ra realizes he's made a huge mistake and tricks her into drinking beer dyed red to look like blood. Sekhmet gets drunk, falls asleep, and humanity is saved. Talk about a close call. Now let's talk about the tale of Bata and Anubis. This story has it all: betrayal, deception, and some seriously gruesome transformations. Bata gets framed for trying to seduce his brother Anubis's wife. He's forced to flee, and then things get really weird. Bata ends up having his heart stolen and hidden in a tree. But the afterlife isn't much better. The Book of the Dead details some pretty gruesome punishments for those who didn't live righteously. We're talking decapitation, being devoured by a monster that's part crocodile, part lion, and part hippo, or suffering from eternal hunger and thirst. And the fear of these posthumous horrors? It reinforced strict moral and religious codes during life. Pretty effective way to keep people in line, don't you think? Let's talk about Apophis, the serpent god of chaos. This guy is the embodiment of eternal terror in Egyptian mythology. Every single night, Apophis battles Ra as the sun god journeys through the underworld. And we're not talking about a friendly game of chess here. The ancient Egyptians took this so seriously that they performed daily rituals to help Ra defeat Apophis. They literally believed that the order of the universe depended on their intervention. And then there's Hathor, often depicted as a nurturing mother goddess. Well, not in this myth. In this story, Hathor unleashes a deadly plague on humanity when they fail to properly honor the gods. We're talking sickness and death spreading across the land. It's a stark reminder of how the ancient Egyptians viewed divine retribution. So, there you have it. Horrific Egyptian myths that you probably didn't learn about in school. From divine cannibalism to cosmic chaos, these stories shaped their society, influenced their behavior, and reflected their deepest fears and hopes. And in many ways, they touch on universal themes that we still grapple with today. So the next time you think about ancient Egypt, remember that there's more to it than just pyramids and pharaohs. There's a rich, complex, and yes, sometimes terrifying mythology that offers us a unique window into one of the most fascinating civilizations in human history.